When I was like 14, 15 years old and I worked at a pizza parlor in my local town, I always thought that this was just a job for the time being, which it was. I am now a teacher at a school, but my parents would always talk about me getting an education, leaving high school, going to college, and outside of there, I had to get a real job. A real job. Now, when I was 14, 15, and I was working at this pizza place, I thought that was a real job. I am trading my time, I'm trading a skill, I'm trading my work in for a paycheck, for money. How is that not a real job? Now, I know what they're talking about. They're talking about me growing to get a job that maybe pays more money, maybe a job that I enjoy, a job that serves maybe a higher purpose. But for me, I really never understood what that meaning was. I just thought a real job was something that you get money for. But I guess I was a little bit different, you know. I can remember my dad saying, when you leave college and you got an education, you got to get a real job. None of this phony business, none of this acting, none of this YouTube, none of this waiting tables. You got to get a real job. And I was sitting there almost like, okay, Dad. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yes, I understand. Mm-hmm. Education, real job, money. But yet, I saw people that were older than me, like 30s, 40s, 50s, waiting tables. I saw people cooking. I saw people working at grocery stores, but my parents never really saw that as a real job. Well, let's dive in just a little bit. What is a real job? A real job is an informal phrase, not an official one. Most people use it to mean any legal work that pays a steady wage, covers your bills, and trades your time or skill for money. Now, there's the three things that I saw that I said earlier. Legal work, trading your time, and skill for money. So, what really is a real job? It is literally anything that makes money. Technically, OnlyFans can be a job. Technically, YouTube can be a job. You acting can be a job. You being a football player, any sports athlete can be a job. You trading on the stock market, creating your own business, maybe selling minerals and goods is a job. There is a stigma around this that a lot of parents say, that a lot of people spread out, that is just not true. Now, I tell my students that I want them to get an education. I want them to learn how to read. I want them to understand their emotions. I want them to understand finances, all the basics, all the good stuff that you need to live. But telling them that chasing their dreams, such as being a YouTuber, being a TikToker, being a sports athlete, or maybe just doing something that is just unorthodox, that is not of the previous era, or it just doesn't seem normal, is not right. Because that is a real job. There's really no definition for it. There could be honest work, there could be maybe dishonest work, stuff that's good, stuff that's bad, but there is risks to anything, and I think that you should chase whatever real job you want to. Don't put stigma on it. Don't spread that to other people. You're okay. Just because someone's doing something different than you doesn't mean that they're not making money. Doesn't mean that it's not a real job. Hey, you don't even have to make that much money. Look at me. I'm a teacher. What am I talking about? I make millions, but there is no such thing as a real job because every job is just real. Now, being a waiter is still a job. Being a scientist is a job. Being an instructor, being a teacher is a job. Truck driver, actor, football player. Yes, they have different limits. They have different influences onto society, and we can say things, one is better or one is worse. But we shouldn't be spreading this weird thing that one is a real job and one is not. But what do you think? What truly is a real job? Is OnlyFans a real job? Is YouTube a real job? Is something unorthodox out there that you've seen, is that a real job? Well, to me, it's anything that makes money. It doesn't mean it's good, right? Leave me a comment, send me a DM, and yeah, don't judge people for what they do. Catch you later.